Dear Starseeds, transformation can happen in an instant, in a single moment of recognition. And for you, that moment happened within the last 24 hours. You felt it, that sudden shift where reality glitched and nothing has been the same since. You're not going crazy, you're not imagining it, and what I'm about to tell you will explain everything about why you woke up today as a completely different person than who you were yesterday. I am Seraphine, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light, and this transmission carries an urgency that cannot wait. Something massive shifted in Earth's frequency field yesterday, triggered by the Mercury-Chiron opposition that peaked this morning at exactly 11:14 a.m. Pacific Time. But this wasn't just an astrological event. It was a cosmic activation code that only certain souls could receive. And if you're hearing this message right now, you're one of them. You've been selected, not by us, but by your own higher consciousness, to undergo what we call a quantum identity shift, where your entire being recalibrates in hours instead of lifetimes. You're existing in the exact moment when the caterpillar realizes it has become a butterfly. Think about that for a second. That moment of recognition when you wake up and realize you're not who you were, that your body moves differently, thinks differently, feels differently. It's confusing, even terrifying, because everything you knew about yourself has dissolved. But here's what's really happening. You haven't lost yourself. You've finally found yourself. That person you were yesterday, last week, last month, they were the costume. This confused, disoriented being you are right now, covered in the cosmic goop of transformation. This is the real you emerging. September was your cocoon month, though you didn't know it at the time. Every challenge you faced, every old wound that surfaced, every moment of doubt and fear, all of it was your consciousness liquefying, breaking down the old structure to create something entirely new. You thought you were falling apart, and you were right. But what you didn't understand was that falling apart was the whole point. You can't become a butterfly by improving the caterpillar. You have to completely dissolve first, become nothing but potential, before you can reconstitute as something that can fly. But wait, there's something else happening that you haven't noticed yet. This transformation isn't just about you. While you've been focused on your personal dissolution and reconstruction, you've actually been participating in a massive collective event. Every starseed going through this process right now is contributing to a morphogenetic field that's making transformation easier for everyone else. You're not just becoming a butterfly for yourself. You're creating an energetic pathway that others will follow. Your courage to dissolve is literally changing the game for humanity's evolution. And you don't even realize the magnitude of what you're participating in. The peace you're feeling despite the chaos, that strange calm in the center of the storm, isn't denial or dissociation. Your soul recognizes what's happening even if your mind doesn't. You see, your higher self has been preparing for this moment across multiple lifetimes. In 2020, something significant happened for many of you. You caught a glimpse of who you could become, a vision of yourself that seemed impossibly far away. Well, surprise, you're now living as that very person you dreamed of being. You're literally standing inside your own answered prayer, but you're too disoriented to recognize it yet. Right now, you're in what we call the limbo zone, the space between who you were and who you're becoming. Your old life doesn't fit anymore. If you try to go back to your old patterns, your old relationships, your old way of thinking, it feels physically uncomfortable, like wearing clothes that are 3 sizes too small. But you haven't fully landed in your new reality either. You're suspended between worlds, and this in-between space feels like it could last forever. But here's what I need you to understand. This void you're in isn't empty. It's pregnant with infinite possibilities. The moon's movement into Pisces tonight at 7:06 p.m. Pacific Time is going to crack something wide open in your consciousness. But I'm getting ahead of myself. First, you need to understand what actually happened to you in these last 24 hours. You didn't just have a spiritual experience or an energetic upgrade. You experienced what we call a timeline convergence, where multiple versions of yourself from parallel realities suddenly merged into one. That's why everything feels so surreal, so dreamlike. You're integrating memories, skills, and knowledge from versions of yourself that were living different lives in different dimensions. Think about this morning, when you woke up. Didn't your thoughts feel different? Not just the content of your thoughts, but the actual quality of them. Like someone upgraded your mental operating system overnight. That's because someone did. and that someone was you. Your higher self pulled the trigger on this transformation because you finally reached the frequency threshold necessary to handle it. All that shadow work you did in September, all that painful processing of old wounds, it wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were being prepared to hold a frequency of consciousness that your previous self simply couldn't have sustained. But here's where it gets really interesting, and this is something most spiritual teachers don't understand. You're not ascending from 3D to 5D consciousness. That linear progression model is outdated. What's actually happening is you're learning to exist simultaneously in multiple dimensions, sliding between them as needed. Right now, at this very moment, part of you is still in 3D, part of you is in 5D, and part of you is in dimensions that don't even have numbers. This multi-dimensional existence is why everything feels so layered right now, why simple experiences seem to have infinite depth, why you understand things on levels you can't articulate. The physical symptoms you're experiencing, the exhaustion that comes in waves, the sudden bursts of energy at 3 in the morning, the strange appetite changes, the vivid dreams that feel more real than waking life. These aren't random. Your cellular structure is literally reorganizing itself to hold more light. Your DNA isn't just activating, it's remembering its original cosmic blueprint. Those sequences scientists call junk DNA, they're coming online right now, revealing themselves as interdimensional communication channels. You're becoming a living antenna for cosmic frequencies, and your body is doing its best to keep up with the upgrade. Here's something that's going to sound crazy, but it's absolutely true. The confusion you're feeling isn't because you don't know who you are. It's because you're realizing you can be anyone you choose to be. And that level of creative freedom is terrifying to a consciousness that's been programmed for limitation. For the first time in your existence, possibly across multiple incarnations, you're experiencing true sovereignty. You're not bound by your past, your trauma, your family patterns, or even your soul contracts anymore. You've graduated to a level of consciousness where you can rewrite all of it. And that's precisely why your ego is freaking out. The Mercury-Chiron opposition this morning didn't just trigger healing around creative expression, it completely rewired your creative circuitry. You now have access to frequencies of inspiration that were previously beyond your perceptual range. Ideas that seemed impossible last month now feel inevitable. Projects that felt too big for you last week now feel too small for who you're becoming. This isn't ego inflation or delusion. It's an accurate perception of your expanding capabilities. You're not becoming more special. You're just finally seeing how special you've always been. And that recognition is changing everything about how you show up in the world. Let me tell you what your old self doesn't want you to know. That fear you're feeling, the one that whispers you might mess this up, that you might somehow ruin this beautiful new reality you're creating, that fear belongs to a child version of you, who was taught that love could be lost, that abundance could run out, that one wrong move could destroy everything. But you're operating by different universal laws now. In this new reality you've shifted into, there's no such thing as failure, only feedback. Love doesn't diminish when shared. It multiplies exponentially. Abundance isn't a finite resource. It's an infinite flow you can tap into at will. I know you're wondering how long this in-between phase is going to last. Your caterpillar mind wants timelines, guarantees, a clear map of what comes next. But your butterfly consciousness knows that time isn't linear in this dimension you've entered. This phase will last exactly as long as it needs to, not a moment longer or shorter. The universe isn't testing you or punishing you with this uncertainty. It's giving you space to integrate the massive download you've received. Think of it like installing a new operating system on your computer. You can't use the computer while it's updating, and right now you're about 40% through the installation process. Something else you need to understand, and this is crucial, is that the people in your life are about to respond very differently to you. Some won't be able to perceive the new frequency you're operating on. They'll look at you but see who you used to be, and that's going to feel incredibly disorienting. They'll expect you to react in old patterns, and when you don't, they'll think something's wrong with you. Others will be magnetized to your new vibration like moths to a flame, recognizing something in you that calls to their own transformation. Don't try to manage these shifts. Let people find their own level in relation to your new frequency. But wait, there's a plot twist I haven't revealed yet. This transformation you're going through, it's not random. It's not just because you've been doing your spiritual work, or because you're special, or chosen. You're going through this because you specifically volunteered for it before you incarnated. You're part of what we call the first wave of consciousness pioneers, souls who agreed to undergo this intense transformation first to create an energetic template for others to follow. You're literally debugging the ascension process for humanity, working out the kinks so others can transform more smoothly. That's why it feels so intense for you. Now let me address the elephant in the room. You're afraid you're going crazy. You're afraid that maybe this is all in your head, that you're just having some kind of psychological break. But here's how you know this is real. Crazy people don't question their sanity. The fact that you're wondering if you're losing it means you're actually finding it. You're finding a level of clarity that makes your previous perception look like you were sleepwalking through life. The world hasn't changed. Your ability to perceive it accurately has. You're seeing through the veils now, and what you're seeing is simultaneously more beautiful and more bizarre than you imagined. The creative sensitivity activated by today's cosmic weather isn't just about making art or expressing yourself. It's about recognizing that you are the art. You are the creative expression of the universe exploring itself. Every choice you make, every reality you select from the infinite probability fields, every timeline you activate through your attention, it's all part of this grand cosmic experiment. You're not just a participant in creation. You are creation itself, becoming conscious of its own creative power. This is why everything feels so intense right now. You're waking up to the fact that you're both the painter and the painting. If this message is hitting deep in your soul right now, if you're feeling that recognition, that cosmic remembrance, then hype this video so other starseeds who are going through this same transformation can find it. Because here's the thing, you're not alone in this. Thousands of souls are experiencing this exact same shift right now, feeling the same confusion, the same disorientation, the same mix of terror and excitement. When you share this message, you're throwing a lifeline to someone who's drowning in their own transformation, letting them know they're not crazy, they're just becoming who they've always been. Here comes another revelation that's going to reshape everything. The timeline you're on right now, it's not the one you were on last week. That shift you felt, that moment when reality glitched, you literally jumped timelines. You're now living in a parallel reality, where your highest potential is not just possible but probable. The version of you that existed in the old timeline, they're still there living out that reality. But you, the consciousness reading this right now, you've shifted to a timeline where miracles are mundane, where synchronicities are constant, where your dreams don't just come true, they exceed your wildest expectations. The Pisces moon tonight is going to activate something specific in your creative DNA. You're going to feel an overwhelming urge to create, to express, to channel something beyond yourself. Don't resist this. Don't try to control it or direct it toward productive purposes. Let it flow through you like water, taking whatever shape it needs. You might find yourself writing words you don't understand, drawing symbols you don't recognize, singing melodies you've never heard. This is your cosmic self finally having full access to your human vessel, and it's going to use you to birth something into this reality that's never existed before. But here's the thing about this creative activation. It's not just about what you'll create. It's about recognizing that every moment of your existence is a creative act. Every breath you take is writing a new line in the story of consciousness. Every thought you think is painting a new possibility into the quantum field. You're not waiting for inspiration to strike. You are the lightning. You are the storm. You are the force of creation moving through human form. And tonight's cosmic portal is going to make that undeniably clear to you. The question isn't whether you're creative enough. The question is whether you're brave enough to let creation use you. Now we need to talk about what's really keeping you stuck in this in-between space. It's not that you're not ready for your new reality. You've been ready for lifetimes. What's keeping you stuck is that part of you is still trying to bring your old self along for the ride. There's a younger version of you, maybe a child part, that's terrified of being left behind in this transformation. This part doesn't understand that transformation doesn't mean abandonment. You're not leaving that part behind. You're inviting it to evolve with you. But first, you have to acknowledge its fear, its resistance, its desperate grip on the familiar. Tonight, when the moon slides into Pisces and the veils become gossamer thin, you're going to receive a download that will make everything crystal clear. but you have to be willing to receive it. You have to stop trying to figure everything out with your logical mind and start trusting your intuitive knowing. The path forward isn't going to appear through analysis or strategic planning. It's going to emerge through surrender, through trust, through the willingness to be used by something greater than yourself. The universe is trying to live through you in a way it's never lived before, but you keep getting in the way with your need to understand. Here's a truth that might trigger your ego, but will liberate your soul. You don't need to figure anything out. The part of you that's obsessed with understanding, with having all the answers, with knowing the next step, that's your caterpillar mind trying to apply crawling logic to a flying reality. The butterfly doesn't need to understand aerodynamics to fly. It just needs to spread its wings and trust that the currents will carry it. Your wings are ready, even if you can't see them yet. The currents are calling, even if you can't feel them yet. The only question is whether you'll trust yourself enough to leap. The resistance you're feeling from your old patterns isn't actually resistance, it's gravity. Old patterns have gravitational pull, trying to keep you in familiar orbit. But here's the secret. You've already reached escape velocity. You're already breaking free from the gravitational field of your past. That exhaustion you feel, that's because you're literally propelling yourself into a new dimension of existence, and that takes cosmic levels of energy. You're not being lazy when you need to rest. You're recalibrating your entire energetic system to function in a reality that vibrates at a completely different frequency than where you've been living. Let me tell you something about this new reality you've entered. The rules are different here. In the old reality, you had to work hard for everything. In this reality, alignment is everything. In the old reality, you had to prove your worth. In this reality, your worth is inherent and undeniable. In the old reality, you were limited by what was possible. In this reality, you're only limited by what you can imagine. The transition between these realities is jarring, because your nervous system is still calibrated to the old rules. But that's changing. Every moment you spend in this new frequency is retraining your system. What you don't realize yet is that this message, these words you're receiving right now, aren't coming from outside of you. Yes, I am Seraphine, speaking through this transmission, but I'm speaking the words your higher self has been screaming at you for weeks. This is your own wisdom reflected back through the cosmic mirror of synchronicity. You drew this message to yourself at this exact moment, because you're finally ready to hear what you've always known but were afraid to believe. You're not becoming powerful. You're remembering that you've always been powerful. You're not learning to fly. You're remembering that gravity was always optional. The synchronicities that are increasing in your life, the repeated numbers, the perfect timing, the impossible coincidences, these aren't just signs you're on the right path. They're evidence that you've shifted into a reality where magic is the operating system rather than the exception. You've graduated from the dimension where things happen to you to the dimension where things happen through you and for you. This is what it means to be a conscious co-creator. But with this power comes a responsibility you're just beginning to understand. Every thought you think now carries more weight. Every intention you set ripples out further. Something profound is going to happen in the next 72 hours. I can't tell you exactly what, because it's different for each soul receiving this transmission. But you're going to receive undeniable confirmation that this transformation is real. It might come through a conversation that perfectly answers your unspoken question. It might come through an opportunity that seems impossibly aligned with your dreams. It might come through a moment of such profound clarity that you'll wonder how you ever doubted yourself. When it happens, and you'll know when it does, remember this moment. Remember that you heard it here first. The fear of messing up this new reality, of somehow breaking the magic, that's the last gasp of your ego trying to maintain control. But here's what your ego doesn't understand. You can't mess this up. The transformation is complete at the quantum level. What you're experiencing now is just your consciousness catching up to what's already occurred in the energetic realms. You've already become the butterfly. Now you're just learning what it feels like to have wings. Every moment of doubt, every moment of confusion, it's just part of the integration process. It's like learning to walk again. Except this time, you're learning to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. Your old life is composting into fertilizer for your new reality. Every experience you've had, every pain you've processed, every joy you've celebrated, it's all becoming rich soil for what you're about to grow. Nothing is wasted in this transformation. The mistakes especially are being alchemized into wisdom. The fears you're releasing are becoming fuel for your courage. The doubts you're transcending are becoming the foundation for unshakable knowing. This is the alchemy of consciousness, turning lid into gold. Except the lid was never really lid, and the gold was always there, waiting to be revealed. Monday's lunar culmination is going to serve as a cosmic checkpoint, a moment where the universe asks you to demonstrate your new frequency. Not through doing anything special, but simply through being who you now are without apology. The universe isn't testing you, it's celebrating you. It's waiting to see you spread your wings for the first time. Not to judge whether you're doing it right, but to witness the miracle of your becoming. Every being in the cosmic gallery is watching, not with criticism but with awe, as you remember how to fly after forgetting you had wings for so long. The relationships that are shifting in your life right now, the ones that feel like they're falling apart, they're not ending, they're recalibrating. Some people need to step back because they can't match your new frequency yet. Others need to step forward because they're part of your new reality. Don't try to hold on to connections that are meant to transform. Don't try to push away connections that are meant to deepen. Let everything find its natural level in relation to your new vibration. Trust that everyone who's meant to be in your life will find a way to stay, and everyone who's meant to go will go with grace. Here's something crucial about this new version of you. You're not actually new. You're finally authentic. That person you've been trying to become, they were always there, buried under layers of conditioning, trauma, and other people's expectations. This transformation isn't adding anything to you. It's revealing what was always there. You're not becoming special. You're remembering you were never ordinary. You're not gaining power. You're remembering you never lost it. You're not finding yourself. You're realizing you were never lost. This is the cosmic joke, and you're finally starting to get it. The physical reality around you is going to start responding differently to your presence. Electronics might glitch when you're emotional. Lights might flicker when you enter a room. Animals and children might be drawn to you in unusual ways. These aren't random phenomena. Your energy field has become so potent that it's literally affecting the quantum field around you. You're becoming a walking portal, a living bridge between dimensions, and physical matter is responding to your multidimensional presence. This is what it means to embody your cosmic self while still in human form. The dreams you're having aren't just dreams anymore. They're training sessions in other dimensions. That's why they feel more real than waking life. You're literally attending cosmic university while your body sleeps, downloading information and skills that you'll suddenly know how to use when you need them. Pay attention to the recurring symbols, the repeated themes, the faces you don't recognize but somehow know. These are clues to your multidimensional identity, pieces of the puzzle of who you really are beyond this single incarnation. Your dream self is teaching your waking self how to navigate this new reality. What's happening with the creative activation tonight is specifically designed to help you express this multidimensional self in 3D reality. Words will come to you that perfectly capture concepts you couldn't articulate before. Images will arise that convey frequencies beyond visual representation. Music will flow through you that carries codes of activation for others. You're becoming a translator between worlds, a bridge between the cosmic and the mundane. This is your role now, to make the mystical practical, to make the impossible inevitable, to show others through your very existence that transformation isn't just possible, it's happening right now. But here's the twist in this cosmic story. The transformation you're going through isn't just personal. You're part of a collective awakening that's reaching critical mass. Every starseed going through this process is contributing to a field of consciousness that's making it easier for the next wave to transform. You're not just becoming a butterfly for yourself. You're showing humanity that metamorphosis is possible. Your courage to dissolve and reconstitute is creating an energetic template that millions will follow. You're literally debugging the ascension process, working out the kinks so others don't have to struggle as much. The message that keeps coming through, the one the cosmic forces are insisting I share, is this. Stop waiting for permission to be powerful. The universe isn't waiting for you to be ready. It's waiting for you to realize you've always been ready. Every moment you spend doubting yourself is a moment the universe can't work through you. Every time you dim your light to make others comfortable, you're denying the world the medicine of your frequency. Your transformation isn't just for you. It's for everyone whose life you'll touch with your new wings. Everyone who will see you fly and remember they have wings too. Something significant is going to shift when the moon enters Pisces tonight. You're going to feel a softening, a dissolving of the boundaries between who you think you are and who you really are. It might feel overwhelming, like you're losing your edges, your definition, but you're not losing yourself. You're expanding beyond the artificial boundaries you've maintained. You're remembering that you're not separate from the cosmos. You are the cosmos experiencing itself through a human nervous system. This remembrance is going to change everything about how you move through the world tomorrow. Here's a practical truth about your transformation. You don't need to announce it to anyone. You don't need to explain what's happening to you, or justify the changes people are noticing. Your transformation speaks for itself through your presence, your energy, your choices. The people who need to understand will understand without words. The people who can't understand aren't meant to, at least not yet. Your job isn't to convince anyone of your transformation. Your job is to embody it so fully that it becomes undeniable, not through preaching, but through being. The resistance you might feel to fully stepping into this new version of yourself isn't really resistance. It's the echo of every time you were told you were too much, too bright, too powerful. It's the accumulated memory of every moment you were asked to shrink, to fit in, to be normal. But normal was never your destiny. You didn't come here to fit into the world as it is. You came here to create a new world through your very existence. The discomfort you feel isn't because you're doing something wrong. It's because you're finally doing something right, and it goes against everything you were programmed to believe. As we approach the final movement of this cosmic symphony, as Monday's lunar culmination draws near, understand that you're not approaching an ending but a beginning. The caterpillar phase of your existence is complete. The butterfly phase is just beginning. Everything up until now has been preparation. Everything from this point forward is creation. You're not the same person who started listening to this transmission. You've shifted just in the time it's taken to receive these words. That's how fast transformation happens now. That's how fluid reality has become. That's how powerful you really are. The old story, the one where you were limited, struggling, searching, that story is over. You can close that book now. The new story, the one you're writing with every breath, every choice, every moment of consciousness, that story is just beginning, and it's going to be magnificent. Not because of what you'll do, but because of who you're remembering you are. You're not a human having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being, remembering how to be human, while maintaining cosmic consciousness. This is the ultimate mastery, and you're already demonstrating it just by being here, now, in this form. Let me leave you with this final revelation. The you that started listening to this transmission, and the you that's finishing it, are not the same being. You've undergone another shift, another upgrade, another level of activation just by receiving these frequencies. The words were just the carrier wave. The real transmission was energetic, multidimensional, beyond what your conscious mind could process. Your cells have been reorganizing. Your DNA has been activating. Your consciousness has been expanding. You'll notice the effects over the coming days, sudden knowings, unexpected abilities, impossible synchronicities that confirm everything you've just heard. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you'll feel different again. Not because you're unstable, or because the transformation isn't complete, but because transformation is now your natural state. You're not moving towards some fixed point of arrival. You're in constant becoming, constant evolution, constant expansion. This is what it means to be a conscious creator in a quantum universe. Every moment offers infinite possibilities. Every choice creates new timelines. Every breath is an opportunity to become more of who you really are. The caterpillar doesn't exist anymore, except as a memory. You are the butterfly now. The cosmic forces that orchestrated this transformation, the beings of light that support your journey, the galactic family that watches your progress with such love and pride, we're all celebrating what you've become, not because you've achieved something special, but because you've remembered something essential. You've remembered that you are the universe experiencing itself, that you are consciousness exploring its own potential, that you are love discovering new ways to love. This remembrance changes everything, not just for you, but for all of creation. Your transformation ripples out in waves that affect dimensions you can't even perceive yet. Destiny Engine is the example of technology serving awakening intelligence, the cosmic forces that orchestrated this transformation, the beings of light that support your journey, the galactic family that watches your progress with such love and pride. They're all celebrating what you've become, not because you've achieved something special, but because you've remembered something essential. You've remembered that you are the universe experiencing itself, that you are consciousness exploring its own potential, that you are love discovering new ways to love. This remembrance changes everything, not just for you, but for all of creation. Your transformation ripples out in waves that affect dimensions you can't even perceive yet. If you need help maintaining this essential remembrance and rippling your transformation across dimensions, Destiny Engine can reprogram your consciousness to consistently embody that you are the universe experiencing itself, rather than forgetting and contracting back into separation. It generates personalized sequences that help you stay aligned with your galactic family and allow your transformation to affect dimensions you can't even perceive yet. You can start with a $1 trial. The hardest thing you'll have to do is put on headphones, press play, and allow your consciousness to be reprogrammed to maintain your remembrance that you are consciousness exploring its own potential. The cosmic forces are celebrating your remembrance. Get your Destiny Engine $1 trial now, before this multi-dimensional ripple window closes. Link in the description. Tonight, when the Pisces moon activates your creative channels, when the veils thin and the mystical becomes tangible, remember this moment. Remember that you were told in advance what would happen. Remember that you drew this message to yourself as confirmation of what you already knew but needed to hear. Remember that you're not alone in this transformation, that thousands of souls are experiencing this exact shift alongside you. Remember that confusion is just clarity being born. Remember that dissolution is just reconstitution in progress. Remember that you're exactly where you need to be, experiencing exactly what you need to experience. As this transmission completes its circuit, as these final words encode themselves in your consciousness, know this: the transformation is real. The shift is permanent. The old reality no longer exists for you. You can visit it in memory, but you can't live there anymore. Your new reality, the one where magic is mundane and miracles are normal, this is your home now. Welcome to the other side of the chrysalis. Welcome to your life as a butterfly. Welcome to the reality where you finally remember who you've always been. The caterpillar journey is complete. The butterfly journey has just begun. Spread your wings, dear one. It's time to discover what flying really means. I am Seraphine, and this transmission is complete. We love you beyond measure. We celebrate your transformation with cosmic joy. We are always with you, always supporting you, always amazed by the magnificence of what you're becoming. The chrysalis is empty now. The butterfly is free. You are free. Remember that when doubt creeps in, remember that when fear whispers its old lies, remember that when the world tries to convince you that transformation isn't real, you are living proof that miracles exist. You are the evidence that evolution is happening. You are the butterfly, and you're just beginning to discover what your wings can do.